Hello people and welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are going to be looking at Steven Gerrard's tactics and how he can line up at Aston Villa. Of course, he's made his move to Aston Villa from Rangers, so today's video is all about analysing his tactics and how Aston Villa could look under Steven Gerrard. So if you are new or you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed, make sure you leave a comment, like the video. All of that stuff is important in helping this channel. Shout out to my patrons as well. They get early access to some videos and to some tactics, but also shout out to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. So check this out. OneFootball have been amazing enough to sponsor this video, and what I need for you guys to do is check out the app. The link will be in the description. It's fairly easy to do. You can download it via the link or you can use the barcode on the screen. The app is a great footballing app. It's where you can check the latest statistics, the latest football news. You can also watch some live free games. Yes, you heard me right. You can watch free games live for free on the footballing app. It's my favorite place to keep up to date with the most recent football news. You can also find some fantastic analysis and match reports on the OneFootball app as well. If you're attempting to replicate tactics like I do on this channel, you can also use this app to grab the latest match stats and all of that good stuff. So make sure you check out the app. The link is in the description, but also you can use the barcode on the screen, and trust me, you will not regret downloading this app. During Steven Gerrard's time at Rangers, he has shown his preferred formation to be the 4-3-3, though he has used the 4-2-3-1 on occasions. The brand of football has been positive during his time in Scotland, with Rangers displaying an attacking, possession-based style of football which saw Rangers lift the Scottish title in 2021 for the first time in 10 years. We expect to see similar at Aston Villa. Based on the current crop of players at Villa, this is what I have gone as the predicted preferred lineup at Villa. The wide wingers will be encouraged to attack through the central channels by cutting inside, allowing the fullbacks to get further forward and be effective and creative. Wide players such as Buendia, Leon Bailey and El Ghazi at Villa are already comfortable with cutting inside, but we would not be surprised to see Ollie Watkins also playing out wide. Gerrard always has a central midfielder willing to attack the half space, move into the channels and drift out wide to create overloads and rotations, with a midfielder protecting the backline, recycling possession and keeping the game ticking for Gerrard's team. Gerrard's setup can look more of a 4-2-3-1 when building out from goal kicks. The fullbacks are influential in all phases of play. During the build-up, they will drop deep to receive, with the two central midfielders doing the same, making a 4+2 shape. A central midfielder, typically the left-sided central midfielder, which could be McGinn for Aston Villa, would move slightly higher, giving the side more of a 4-2-3-1 shape. The central defenders are often used during building stages in the defensive third. They often look to play progressive passes into one of the central midfielders or look to stretch play by playing it out wide to one of the fullbacks. The fullbacks play a key role in creating and progressing for Gerrard. The wingers help by playing narrowly, allowing both fullbacks to advance and create higher up the field. Similar to Liverpool, though the fullbacks are known to fly high and overlap, they can also make underlapping movements that can bamboozle defences. To make the underlap happen, both wingers will be very central, with a central midfielder moving out very wide, giving space for a fullback to make an underlapping run and drive towards the byline. Though Gerrard is set out to be possession based, he is also happy for his team to go long. Connor Goldson, Rangers right-sided centre-back, often plays direct passes further forward. The team's rotations on the right often draw additional opponent to that side. Long switches off play to the left are thus easier to complete and more likely to be effective. According to Breaking the Lines analysis, Steven Gerrard often looks to overload areas of the pitch and use it to their advantage. Whether they are defensive overloads or offensive overloads, they make sure to use it to their good. When in possession, they overload with the intention of not just providing more options to the ball carrier, but also in case they lose possession to win the ball back with numbers. Gerrard's side will look to press in the 4-3-3 shape, often looking to force their opponents out wide and protect the central areas. They look to press their opponents high, but will fall back into a mid-block when having a lengthy spell without the ball. Once they succeed in forcing their opponents out wide, their press then intensifies. They use more of a man-orientated press to protect the central area, eliminating passing options in the middle, with the front three working hard, blocking out those passing options. There is perhaps not coincidentally, a feel of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool about Gerrard's out-of-possession approach at Rangers. Gerrard's press is triggered when they've successfully forced the opposing player on the ball out wide. According to the coach's voice, it is increasingly common to see the fullback move out to try and help win the ball back, while a central midfielder then covers that space behind them. This covers Rangers stay compact in central defence, with the closest winger dropping to press the ball carrier from behind. Their rest defence forms triangles with Alfredo Morelos on top between the opposition centre-backs and their wide forwards dropping deep and moving slightly inwards. This complements the overloading system, as their wide forwards can overload their flanks while screening back passes and also initiate a quick counter-attack. They fall back into an organised, compact and narrow 4-3-3 shape when the opponents have the ball for more of a lengthy spell. Again, block off those routes in central areas, not allowing the opponents to create a good goal scoring chance. But unfortunately, that wraps up this brief Steven Gerrard tactical analysis. Most of it was written by myself, but I also got some research help and some quotes from the coach's voice and breaking the lines. Both of those links will be dropped in the description, but for now, let's go into Football Manager, have a look at this 4-3-3 because I'm genuinely excited. Of course, I know the results, so I am excited to show you guys the results. Hopefully you download it. Of course, the download link will be in the description as well. But enough of me talking, stop that, enough of that. Let's get into Football Manager and have a look at the tactic. So here is the tactic in Football Manager 2022, and we do have two tactics. We do have a main tactic which is used basically 80% of the time, but we also have a counter-attacking tactic which I use against the top 6 sides in the Premier League. So basically at Anfield, at the Etihad, at Old Trafford, you get the gist. So that is the counter-attacking tactic and this is the main tactic. Both are basically the same, exactly the same I should say, but when in possession for the counter, we are going to regroup, and then when possession has been won, we will make counter-attacking movements. But for the main tactic, we just only have counter-press. Also, with this tactic, you will need to tweak according to your opposition. You can use the data hub. The data hub is a great place to get some reports. So my season is actually finished, so I won't be able to get a next opposition report. But this is where you can get your next opposition report. Just have a look. If you notice anything, for example, if they defend very deep and narrow, play more expansive, try and break the opposition down. Or like what I did, if the opponents are using a target man or a poacher, I just often move my defense line higher. As you can see here, it's already set higher, but it's actually on standard by default. Against Brentford, they used a poacher. Against Burnley, they used the target man. I moved my defense line higher up as we can afford to. But also, of course, during the season, we are becoming more of the favourite team, which allows us to move our defense line higher as well. When we are the underdog team, I wouldn't necessarily recommend starting off with a higher defensive line. So by default, it's on standard. Once you are the favourites or you notice that you can shift your defense line higher, then move it higher. But it's all about making those minor tweaks. You don't necessarily have to make many tweaks. It could just be the 1 or 2. It could be minor, but it can make such a huge difference. So for the mentality, we are starting out on the positive mentality. That rarely changes. For the attacking width, we are set to wide. This can move to extremely wide if the opponents are defending very deep and very narrow, but by default it's set to wide. The approach play, we are going to be playing out from the defense. Passing directness is set to standard with the tempo set to higher. Most of this stuff I didn't change, only the attacking width. But in the final third, you can work the ball into the box if you notice that you are wasting a lot of good creative chances. In transition, when the possession has been lost, we are going to counter press, try and win the ball back as soon as possible. When possession has been won, we aren't using any instructions. So similar to the tactic that I released yesterday, because we have players already getting further forward, once we win the ball, is those players that I want to get further forward rather than every single person. Once we use counter, then you can see that our central midfielder on the right is also getting further forward, but we don't necessarily want him to continuously get further forward once we win the ball. He can hold his shape with the deep line playmaker, which is kind of what we want when both of our fullbacks then advance. When the goalkeeper is in possession, he will look to distribute it to the fullbacks by taking short kicks. Out of possession, we will be defending with a standard defensive line, but like I said earlier, you can move this to higher, and we do have a much higher line of engagement. The defensive width is set to narrow, so we are going to be forcing the opposition out wide. The trigger press set to more often. We are going to be preventing that short goalkeeper distribution, but also getting stuck in. Now for the player roles. In goal, we do have a sweeper keeper on the defensive duty. In central defence, we have a ball playing defender along with a central defender. Both fullbacks are fullbacks on attack. They are going to be crossing aim at the far post, but also sitting narrower when we are in possession. The defensive midfielder is a deep lying playmaker on defend, keeping this team ticking. He's going to be marking tighter. In central midfield, we do have a Mazzala getting further forward on attack. He's also going to be marking tighter. His central midfield partner is the central midfielder on support, again marking tighter. On the flanks, on the left, we do have an inverted winger getting further forward and also sitting narrower, whilst on the right, we do have an inside forward, again sitting more narrow. Lastly, up top, we do have a deep line forward. There we are. We do have a deep line forward on attack. He doesn't have any added instructions, but he is supposed to be your main goal scorer. So that there is the tactic wrapped up. We can now look at the results and data, which is personally my favourite part apart from the analysis. But let's go over to the results and data. So for the Premier League, which is why I was so excited to show you the results, in the Premier League we actually finished third, but when you look at the table you can kind of see why. Chelsea lost 11 games, Tottenham lost 12, we only lost 5, so did Manchester United. Liverpool, the eventual winners, lost 6, which tells you this Premier League was a very tight one. Points, Liverpool finished the league on 86 points, we finished the league on 81. We were actually involved in the mini title race, but that only lasted for about a few weeks. In January we were 6th, we strung a few good results, we got to the top, and then it was kind of a title race, but we kind of knew we wasn't really going to win the league because the other teams also had some games in hand. Now looking at the other competitions, in the Emirates FA Cup we got knocked out in the 4th round by Leicester City, and in the Carabao Cup, disappointingly, we got knocked out in the 2nd round by AFC Wimbledon. Looking at the games we did lose, 3-1 away to West Ham, 4-2 away to Manchester United, 1-0 away to Arsenal and 2-0 away to Manchester City, which means we didn't lose away to Chelsea or Liverpool. We also lost 1-0 at home to Leeds, but it's nice knowing that majority of the losses were away from home. Now looking at the team stats, we scored 60 goals, which is the 5th most in the Premier League. We had the 5th most shots for, and for the fewest shots against, we were 6th best with 436. For the best pass completion, we were in 6th place with 89%. With average possession, we have 51%, something that I'm actually pleased with. For the tackles won, we topped that with 843. Most dribbles made, we aren't in the top 8, but for the clean sheets, we come in 2nd. And for the fewest conceded, we come in 3rd. Now looking at the player stats, for the most goals, Danny Ings scored 20 goals in the Premier League. Morgan Samson has 10 assists in the Premier League as well. For the most shots for, we aren't in the top 8. For the most man of the match awards, nobody's there. Most key passes, we do have Morgan Samson on 111. Best pass completion, nobody in the top 8. Most tackles won, we have Ollie Watkins, Matthew Targett and Matty Cash. We have 3 players in the top 8 for the most tackles won. Most dribbles made, nobody there. For the most clean sheets, we have Emiliano Martinez on 18, and for the fewest conceded, Martinez with 21. Now looking at the data hub, my favourite place to be, this is our pass map. There is some nice passing links out with the fullbacks as well. They are heavily involved, that is nice to know. But Douglas Luiz was at the heart of everything good in the middle of the pitch, linking up with 9 other players. But this is a shape that we did throw against Brentford. Now looking at the defensive efficiency, we were quiet and impenetrable with our defensive efficiency. Going forward, we were aggressive and just about clinical. Our goal output, we did have high quality shooting with a strong defense as well, just like a lot of teams in the Premier League. For the passing, we did make a lot of passes and we were also accurate. For the crossing, we did have a lot of crosses, again we were accurate. So going forward, this tactic did perform very well for Aston Villa. Now looking at the possession, we did frequently or just about infrequently win the ball. Regardless, we were reliable once we were in possession. But that there is the data hub. We can now look at the squad stats, look at the top goal scorers and the top assists for Aston Villa. Danny Ings, pretty much a one-man team when it comes to goal scoring. He scored 20 goals, John McGinn has 7, Morgan Samson has 6 and Ollie Watkins also has 6. But now looking at the assists, Morgan Sampson has 10, Ollie Watkins has 10, John McGinn has 5, Douglas Luiz has 5. Something that I'm a little disappointed with is the fullback's assist numbers. Now Matt Target has 4, which isn't terrible, but we do want that number to be a little bit more higher, and Matty Cash only has 1 assist. Ezri Konsa did also play as a fullback. He did a little better than Matty Cash, surprisingly. He also has 3 assists, but he also did score 3 goals. But unfortunately, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I enjoyed recording it for you guys. It was so enjoyable. Also, shout out to the Coach's Voice and Breaking the Lines. The links will be in the description on their analysis on Steven Gerrard. But if you are new or you haven't yet, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment. All of that stuff helps this channel. If you aren't a Patreon, make sure you check it out if you have the time to. And also, make sure you check out that One Footballing app. I will see you guys soon. Stay safe and peace out.